Good evening,
Well, hello there.
Drew. How you doing?
I am going crazy.
Okay. Uh,
So,
mhm.
you and I both listen to the Accidental Tech podcast.
I do. Yes.
Have you
Yes.
listened to this week's episode yet?
I have.
Did you notice anything weird about that episode?
Did I notice? Okay, so I have to admit, I listened to the bootleg.
Okay, that's fine.
So that's the basically it's a recording of the live broadcast.
Yeah.
Uh what did I notice anything weird about that episode?
If you listen to the bootleg, you
Okay.
probably did not encounter what I encountered.
Okay.
Marco
Mhm.
was talking about his Apple Watch Ultra.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, Paul, are you wearing your Apple Watch right now?
Of course I am.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Describe the orientation of the watch and what hand you wear it on.
I wear it on my left hand,
Okay. Mhm.
and I wear it so the digital crown is facing my wrist.
Is facing your wrist. So
Mhm.
that means that if you were to take your left arm and hold
Mhm.
it up and look at the watch, the crown would be on the right.
Right side. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Marco is a lunatic
He wears it.
because
He
he
does the
wears the
opposite.
crown the opposite way.
Now, in a previous episode, he explained why he does that.
Marco doesn't do a lot of things
Well,
that I think normal people do.
maybe he cut this part. He explained that he often wears lifting gloves, and when he wears lifting gloves and he flexes his wrist, uh, the most common thing was like it setting off the alarm or
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mine does that too.
Yeah.
You know what I do though? Like a normal person, I just loosen the watch a little bit
Okay,
and it
yeah,
slides
yeah,
further down my wrist
okay,
and that way it doesn't make contact.
okay, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do that because that's weird. That's not where the button should be. The button
I
should
know.
be
I
yeah.
I just thought, are there people who wear this like
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I remember when the watch first came out, people saying, "Oh, this is like that's definitely the better way." Put the crown on the, you know.
No,
No, it's I
it's
tried it.
not.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
It's
Now,
very wrong.
now Apple supports it. Like like you can tell it and it'll flip everything around and be just fine. But no, no, I'm with you. I do not like it. I do not like it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
saw that and I'm like, that's wrong. But then I
Mhm.
thought about it and I thought, am I wrong?
No, I don't think
Okay,
you're
that's
wrong.
not canonical watch wearing.
No, no, that is not canonical watch ring. No, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay, good. I feel a little bit better.
Mhm.
Um I feel a little bit better about that. Whew, man, it would have shattered my worldview. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Yep.
Well, hey, buddy. I'm unemployed.
Yeah. Fun employment, baby.
Fun employment. Yeah. Today
Oh.
was my first day away from my previous job.
Okay.
As you can imagine, yesterday was a very emotional day for me.
I can
I want to
imagine.
say to all the people who listen to this podcast and support us mainly just by listening. I had a lot of good people reach out to me and say, hey, good for you. Good luck with everything. Everybody has been very, very supportive. I had a lot of people reach out to me. So I did the obligatory, the thing you do when you leave Microsoft, I've discovered,
Mhm.
is that you take a picture of your badge.
Okay. Okay.
Because you take a picture of your badge and you say, turn it in the badge and, yada, yada, yada. Posted that to all the major socials that matter, right? So I posted
Mhm.
it to Mastodon, posted it to Bird app, posted it to LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I had a lot of people, I just had a lot of people who were like, saying, hey, man, you're going to do great. Everything's good. It was very encouraging. But I also had a lot of people, and this only seemed to happen in my direct messages saying, hey, were you laid off? Because the timing
Um,
is sus, right?
got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I but as I have told them, and I ended up having to put on the Bird app, no, this was not a layoff situation. This was Drew choosing to move on.
Mhm.
Um, which in this climate, there are not many large technology or software companies hiring.
That is true. Yeah.
And it was a consideration for sure, leaving at a time like this. But no, it's all good. Everything's good. I just want to thank everybody for the kind words and everything. I spent most of the day today sleeping.
Good for you. I like
Yeah,
sleep.
just
Yeah.
absolute packed day. Had a nice Dos Hermanos burrito for lunch.
Mm.
Went and worked out, which was really hard with that big ass burrito in my tummy. Yeah, just watched some stuff that I had saved on Plex, and it was just a
Nice.
nice day. And
Nice.
tomorrow is going to be more of the same, and then, of course, all of next week.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, just super emotional day yesterday, man. I mean, leaving a company like that is always just really difficult. And I'm just glad that I have good supportive people like you there to help me, help me through it. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
You'll do great. You'll do great.
I would like to think that I'm going to do great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird though, man. So I spent the day today uncorporating. Is that a word?
I think so. It is now. Yeah.
Uncorporating my laptop and my phone.
Nice.
Basically reclaiming them so that they are mine. So I've talked about this before, but obviously big Mac user. I had a MacBook Pro M1 16-inch that I bought back in November. That was my daily work driver. Microsoft lets you bring your own device to them. It has to be company managed, which is different than an actual company device with a corporate image. It is, you have your computer. It's for all intent and purpose your computer. And it has software on it that installs things like certificates. It makes sure that you turn on things like File Vault, and you have strong passwords everywhere. They don't monitor like your internet usage or anything like that that I know of. I mean, they say they respect your privacy, but who knows, right? And
right.
So yesterday was like my last day, and towards the end of the day, like when the day ended, like access was like you're gone, right? Just gone. Like I was up at midnight because I was playing a game, and I went over to my computer, and like I was still signed into Teams. I had web pages up and everything, and like OneDrive was running on the taskbar, the menu bar.
Yep.
Yeah, so woke up this morning, came downstairs about 7:30, and like X's everywhere, just nah, nah. And like I had read up how to like un-intune the device, but I just did a complete reset, and it took me like probably 2 hours today to get all my software reinstalled, all my accounts linked back up, like 1Password set back up. I completely reset my phone. Just was lousy with security alert emails like someone signed in on a Mac on your account. I'm like, I know.
That was me.
That was me. Repairing my keyboard, getting my backgrounds corrected, just getting it all set up the way I wanted again.
It's a lot of work.
And it was cathartic. And then I have to like mail a bunch of stuff back to Microsoft. So like the Surface Book that I haven't turned on in 2 years, that needs to go back. So like I had to go buy a box, and they're supposed to come pick that up at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I cleaned my desk off. I packed up a bunch of notebooks that I just have a bunch of notes in them, and I don't need anymore, and just like completely reset my work desk a bit. And the whole process of going through that was just refreshing.
Good. Yeah.
Oh. So I will be primed to do all the new stuff. Okay. Enough about my shit. You teased last episode that you were getting a Steam Deck.
Yes.
And it seems that you have received this Steam Deck.
I got it Tuesday evening.
Okay. So I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
What do you think?
It's complicated. Okay. So I took notes. Drew. I'm going to go through my notes. Okay,
I'm ready.
Okay. First, the physical shape of it. Okay. It's okay. The first thing I'm going to say is it's ugly.
Okay.
It is incredibly ugly. It is designed for practicality. If I'm going to get it here so I can look at it. So the fact that like the buttons go like towards the edge, where they almost like curve around the edge, I don't know. It just makes the whole thing look like it was a mistake.
Okay, so time out. Just for people who haven't seen, we'll put a link in the show notes, and I think we did last episode as well. But what you're referring to, I think, are like the A and B and X and Y buttons.
Yes, and the D-pad on the left side. Yeah. They go really close to the edge.
So for
Yeah.
those of you that have never seen a Steam Deck, imagine like a Nintendo
Hmm.
Switch.
Hmm.
Roughly the same shape, not the same
Shape.
size. Yeah,
Yes.
roughly the
Yes.
same shape, not the same size at
Hmm.
all.
Way bigger.
And imagine having like the buttons like way up on the top corner of the device.
Yeah, it feels wrong, like a mistake. And especially for something that's this big, to be able to have to push those buttons all the way over. I mean, it's like 90% screen, right? So
It's a big
it's
screen.
a big screen. It's a big screen. It's like 7-inch screen or something like that. Uh, Speaking of the size, this is not something you hold casually. When you hold the Steam Deck, you need to be all in on the fact that you're holding a Steam Deck. For example, if you say you're playing Vampire Survivors and you get a chest, and you're like, this would be a great time to take a sip of my wonderful espresso drink, and you take your right hand off the Steam Deck to reach for the espresso drink, chances are you will have a hard time with this bad boy. It's big. It's very big. It's very big. Uh, it's heavy, but the ergonomics, the way that like the back kind of curves into like, handholds, it's actually surprisingly comfortable to hold. It is a little bit heavy and I'm still kind of getting used to the weight. Uh but it's for something this big and heavy, it's much easier to hold than you would expect.
Hmm.
The back buttons, so there's your normal buttons, right? You have your four face buttons, you have your thumbsticks, a D-pad, triggers, bumpers, and there's also like four buttons on the back kind of built into those handhelds. Those buttons are garbage. They're garbage. They're impossible to push and even harder to hold. I don't know what they were thinking. They should feel bad. They're basically worthless. At least for me. I just can't. I can't. Uh, the thumbsticks, they're really nice thumbsticks. They got good little, whatever the tops of the thumbsticks. They feel good. I did not know this, but the thumbsticks are actually capacitive, so it knows when you have your thumbs on them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, uh, the screen is really nice. I mean, it's not an OLED screen; it's just an IPS LED, but it's a really nice one. It's really big. It's really bright. Uh, so moving on to the software. Okay, so I'm an Apple snob, right? I am, right? I'm a big Apple fanboy. An Apple product, this is not. So you get it out of the box, and it has this big piece of paper over top of it saying, first step, plug in. Step 2, turn on. So like, okay, whatever. I went and I plugged it in, and then I turned it on, and it made this like noise. And I'm sitting there, and nothing's happening. Nothing's happening, Drew. Nothing's happening. I'm like, okay, what's wrong? Do I have to push and hold? I push and hold. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. I don't know what's going on. I push it like 2 more times, and eventually the screen turns on. The setup experience isn't great. It spends a long time like downloading stuff. It reboots a bunch. One point, like the screen just went like black for a while, and I think I had to push the power button again to turn it back on. I mean, you can tell that it's made by like game developers, right? Like they're not product people. Uh, yeah, it's fine. The UI, it's really easy to kind of get it messed up. There are whole parts of the UI that don't respond to like the thumbsticks or the D-pads. You have to use either the touchscreen or one of the trackpads as a mouse. Uh, it's sometimes like there's a Steam button, which is kind of like the most important button on the whole thing, and it like brings up like, hey, you can go to your home or your library or see your downloads or go into settings, or if you have a game open, you can change the profile, you can exit the game. Sometimes that button just stops working.
Oh, interesting.
It just doesn't work anymore, and you have to reboot it to get it to come back up. uh and there's you can kind of boot into desktop mode, which is important for something I'll get into at the end. If you're ever going to desktop mode, just admit to the fact today you want a keyboard and mouse. You do not want to use the on-screen keyboard or like the trackpad as a mouse. Just don't do it. you will be full of woe. It's bad. Just find a keyboard mouse, hook it up. You'll be much happier. Okay, gaming, gaming, gaming on the Steam pad. I'm going to talk about like games from the Steam store. I'll talk about emulation last. Uh, and, it does exactly what it sets out to do, right? Like you can like play a game, and it works. It's Steam. The fact that like most of these games are like basically mapping like DirectX calls to Vulkan, like the fact that it works as well as it does, it's amazing. Uh, I have kind of learned a dark secret about the Steamed Verified program. Uh, Steam Verified does not mean it will run well.
It just means that it works.
It just means that it works, and it displays like the default resolution is correct. It displays all the Steam buttons. It supports a controller. It does not mean that it will run well. And Steam playable, like just whoa, just watch out, because that can mean anything from, hey, the launcher this game uses is a little wonky, but once you get past that, you're absolutely fine, to this game does not support a controller, and we're going to emulate WASD with the thumbstick, but you really have to use a mouse. Like, it's just thar be dragons there. There is this site, it's called ProtonDB. I will put a link in the show notes. This is its site is interesting. It basically tracks playability of games on Linux and Steam Deck. The fact that it's Linux and Steam Deck will get you in trouble, because if you go into a game, you have to really make sure that like you only read the Steam Deck section. But it's basically like, hey, you can bring up a game, and then you can see comments on people like, hey, yep, I ran this, it ran fine, or like I changed this setting, or I did this and it runs good, like, or like multiplayer doesn't work. It's a great resource out there. I think it's the only kind of resource like this on the internet that's this comprehensive. Yeah, it's good. Oh, and that game that comes with it, Aperture Desk Job, it's cute. It's cute.
Okay.
You get to learn all about the Steam Deck. You get to use the touchpads and the gyro and stuff you'll probably never ever use again. I played Vampire Survivors. It runs really well. Though I did this evening, I achieved my first 30-minute run on the Steam Deck, and
Wow.
towards the end, it was dropping frames. Like usually it ran 60, but towards the end, when you have just a screen full of monsters and you have like 5 evolved weapons and there's particle effects going everywhere, it was getting to about like 35 to 40 frames. Still totally playable. But like that just tells you like, hey, like either that game is really not optimized, which is probably a good part of it, or there is a limit to what it can do. I tried a little bit of what did I play? The Vampire Survivors. I played a little bit of Batman Arkham City, because I just wanted to see what like a 3D game was, and that happened to be a game in my library that I already had. Aperture Desktop, of course. I want to try, I guess, what Grim Dawn works really well on there if you configure it just right. So I'm probably going to try that over this weekend a little bit. But yeah, it's fine. I've got a wish list. I'm officially a PC gamer, so I refuse to pay full price for anything. So I'm just gonna wait for some sales and pick stuff up. So the last piece of this is emulation, right? This is the part that I was really kind of excited about. All right. So I'll put another link in here. There's this piece of software called Emu Deck. And basically what it does is you download this thing, and it installs a little program on your Steam Deck, and you can run it. You can say, hey, I want these emulators to be installed. It'll configure your installation thing to give you a place to put BIOS files and a place to put ROMs. It'll install all of your emulators. It will configure them all for you. It'll ask you some questions. It also installs this little piece of software called Steam ROM Manager, which is what you kind of have to run to configure, like, hey, how do you want this stuff to show up in your Steam library? Do you want to show individual games? Do you want to show certain games? You just want to show the emulators? You just want to show Emulation Station? Steam ROM Manager is ugly and weird. You can tell it was developed by like a Linux developer and like not designed by anybody who writes software, but you can get through it. Actually, what I'll find. Hold on, Retro Game Corps Steam. This is the part where Paul Googles something on the internet. I'm gonna put this link to this guide by Retro Game Corps. He's got a great guide to Emu Deck. I followed it pretty much exclusively. I think it's really good. There's also a YouTube video if you don't want to read. He kind of walks you through it and sets it up and tells you about little configuration things he changed and what BIOS FIOS you need and just it's a really good article. If you're gonna do this, I highly recommend it. Okay, Drew.
Mm-hmm.
The emulation on this thing. So I was mostly excited about GameCube and PS2. Those are things that my Odin Pro supposedly could do, but it was hit or miss. Okay. Most games ran fine on that thing, but some games did not. On the Steam Deck, God of War didn't change a damn thing. 60 frames per second, locked.
Wow.
Just absolutely beautiful. Burnout 3, 60 frames per second, locked. So if you remember on the Odin where the music would kind of get out of sync, no problems.
Okay.
It's like playing it on the PlayStation.
Okay.
It's absolutely flawless.
I'm too messy. Keep going.
Flawless. GameCube, there is one little thing you have to do when you launch a GameCube game, which is basically Emu Deck basically installs this thing called Power Tools. You have to launch. When you open the game, you hit like the 3 little dots, go to Power Tools and say, hey, don't use all the CPU cores. Use like half of them. And if you do that, the games I've tried Mario Golf Toadstool Tour.
Love that game.
I played Mario Kart Double Dash. Flawless. They just run perfectly. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's unbelievable how good these things run.
Interesting.
It's so good. I played probably played like an hour of God of War. I played like 3 or 4 races of Burnout 3, and that game can get intense, right? Like you're moving fast. Cars are everywhere.
I love that game. Love Burnout.
It never dropped a frame, Drew. Never.
Wow.
60 frames solid. The music never skipped. It just ran perfectly. I cannot be more happy about the emulation part of the Steam Deck. It is, and like obviously Super NES, Game Boy. Oh, I also played some PSP games. And those ran better than they did on the Odin. I played a little bit of Chains of Olympus to see how it worked. Again, flawless. Didn't have to touch. For the Odin, I had to install everything manually and configure everything. You run Emu Deck, it takes care of everything for you. You can run it again if you want to change your settings. You can run it again to update your emulators. Like it makes the whole thing absolutely enjoyable. It works so well. If you're really wanting to get a portable emulation device and you don't mind basically wielding a dinner tray, just buy a Steam Deck. It is amazing how good this thing runs.
So, okay, first of all, dude, I love it when you review something because you just bring the thunder, right? Like I wish I was better at taking notes about things that I like and I could talk about them better. So first of all, kudos. Secondly, I'm going to need you to take that little bit-a-doop noise that you made and make that the outro.
I can do that. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of our thing now. I think we've done that with a few of the noises that we've had on the show. Thirdly, okay, so that's all great, okay, and I'm really happy to hear that the emulation thing worked for you,
Yes.
because again, I have a very strong desire to play some of my old PS2 games. I have like 3 or 4 that every once in a while I'll get a hair up my ass to like put an emulator on my actual PC and play them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really excited to hear that, and I do still want to get one.
Hmm.
So here's what I want to know, a couple
Okay.
things.
Okay.
Number 1, what are you using for sound?
So I've tried two things. One, the speakers on it are surprisingly good. They're loud, they're clear. If you just use the speakers on this thing, you will have no complaints. But of course, since I'm a nerd, I've used a pair of whatever I'm wearing now. They're the Audio Technica something something 50s. I've used
Mhm.
those. And hold on, let me guide them here. What are these called? They're my beloved COS excuse me, my beloved COS KPH30i. Those cheap ass headphones.
Right, right. I still
Yeah.
have mine.
Yeah, yeah. Also work really great with it. It's I plug those suckers in and it works really well. So it sounds really good.
Okay. The
Yeah.
reason I'm asking you that is I'm curious how Bluetooth audio works with that.
I have not tried it. But that is something I could break out my Sony's and give that a try with it.
That would be interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, so next thing, how's the battery life?
Uh s- I have never had a gaming session end because of the battery. Uh Obviously if you're playing more intense games, it'll drain longer, but I've always had it but it will it'll last at least 2 hours, which for me is about as long as I can hold that thing. Anyway, so it's fine. Uh if you're playing like uh you can go in there and see depending on the draw. Like if you're just playing Vampire Survivors, it'll probably last like 6 hours. Like doing emulation will probably last like 4 or 5. Uh it's fine. It's good enough. Yeah. Like if you're running like a full like FPS at 60 frames per second, yeah, you probably only get a couple hours of battery life. But they also make it really easy. They've got these tools built in. It's if you're looking at it, it's the button that has like the three dots on it, the meatballs.
Yep.
You can click on that, and there's a bunch of options. You can like you can have it show performance metrics. I just usually have like a FPS counter, but you could show CPU load, GPU load, all that nerdy stuff. And you also can go in there and say, "Hey, let's cap the whole thing at a certain FPS." So you can say, "Hey, do no more than like 40," and you can set the screen resolution to the same. I guess 40 is a really good sweet spot for this particular device. It looks better than 30, but you get better battery life. So you can make those trade-offs as well. And obviously it's a PC game. If you drop the, graphics quality down, everything runs better and you get more battery. But at least for the 3 times I've really played this for extended period of time, I've never ran out of battery.
Wow.
So it's always been me having to like go to bed or, that's hit first. So maybe over the weekend, like if I'm playing it a lot, I'll have a problem with it. But you know, I have a I have an Anchor battery pack that does 45-watt power delivery, so I can always plug that thing in and just go to town.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, next question.
mm-hmm.
They make a dock for this.
Yep.
Any plans?
I don't see myself using this thing docked ever. I just don't.
Like you wouldn't hook it up to your TV and use like a controller?
I don't think so. I
Strictly for mobile then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people do. Also, like right now, I don't have room for it by any TV or an HDMI port free. But that's for me. That's not what I want. I want it to be handheld. Uh, I am trying to find like a stand for it so I can just kind of put it on my desk and charge it. Not like a stand, not a dock, right? Just a piece of metal to hold that thing. Because everything I have currently is too small for it because it's thick. She thick boy. Woo. She got some girth. But no, I looked at the dock. I watched some YouTube videos comparing the normal dock and third-party docks, but like, I don't think I'll need it. Like, uh, I've got this little shitty like uh keyboard that does Bluetooth and it has a trackpad built in. So when I'm in desktop mode, I just turn that thing on, prop it up, go to town, get out of desktop mode as soon as I possibly can, and just go back to using it as a handheld. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm glad that exists because for some people, like, like, uh, maybe there's a game you want to play with the keyboard and mouse, and you totally can do that if you have the dock and plug things in, and you can hook it up to, probably not a 4K monitor, but like a 1080p monitor probably would be fine. But that's not what I want. I want, I want it because it's a handheld. So not for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, last question about the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
How hot did it get when you were playing it?
You can, if you listen to the fans, you can hear the fans. If you point the top little exhaust ports at your face, you get a nice little warm breeze. But as far as like where my hands were holding it, I never really noticed that it was getting hot. I mean, the fans do run when you push it, like you'll hear a
Yep.
But I mean, what are you going to do? It's a PC chip in there. So, yeah, what are you going to do?
All right.
But it never got uncomfortable. I never thought, "Ooh, this thing's getting warm." It just the cooling did its job and it ran fine.
So last question then. You mentioned Vampire Survivors. You
Mhm.
mentioned your Emu Station. So what PC games do you have installed on there right now?
Let's see. Hold on. What do I have installed right now? Let me turn this bad boy back on. Okay, let's see. Hit Steam, go to library, go to installed, Aperture Desk Job,
Okay.
Batman Arkham City, Fallout New Vegas, haven't tried it yet. Grim Dawn, ran it for like 5 seconds, realized I need to read an article before I play it. Pizza Tower. I did play some Pizza Tower. That's a great little game. Slay the Spire. I've played it on other platforms before. It was on sale. Vampire Survivors. And I want to try, I had Wolfenstein The New Order in my library, so I'm currently in the process of downloading that, but I haven't played it yet. So I was like, I want to say like, yeah, let's try a first person shooter on there. And I've got a bunch of shit in my wish list. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now the reason I ask you that, how you doing on your storage situation?
Okay, that's a good question. Right now, let's go into settings and systems. No, where is it? One of these is general. Nope, system. I forget where that is. There it is, storage. Okay. I do have a terabyte SD card in there right now. Because, those PS2 games get big. On my 256 gigabyte internal SSD, all of the Steam, I've installed all of the Steam games to there. So all those games I just said are being installed to the internal SSD. I'm using about half of it. So I have 112 gigabytes free right now. On my SD card, I have a lot free. So
now you're just using the SD card for emulation right now.
Right now, yep. But you can install games to there. You can move stuff around, just like you can on
I'd be really curious what that would do to loading times as opposed to the M2 that's in there.
What I've read is if you get like an A2 class, like you get a good SD card, yeah, it's going to be a little bit slower, but it's not going to be the bottleneck of this machine.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, A+ or A-?
I'll give it an A- for right now.
Interesting.
Oh, one thing that's just kind of cute and when you look into it, it's clever. So like when you launch this thing for the first time each day, you notice that it wakes up and it installs little files for every game you have installed. it just does this little thing. And if you look at it, what are they call them, like shader caches. And I guess what Valve has done is they have shaders are important, but because of what they're doing, if they can have the shaders pre-compiled before
Yep.
time, they can
Yep.
save performance. So essentially, they kind of crowdsource the generation of these shaders to all of the Steam Deck users. And if it encounters a shader it has not done before, it'll upload it to like Steam servers. And when you launch your Steam Deck the next day, it'll download them ahead of time.
Wow.
It'll just go, oh, there's new shaders to download, and it will do it. I thought that was a really kind of clever solution to the problem. Yeah, it's just kind of cute. It's like, oh, that's a real smart solution to that problem.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're a PC gamer now.
barely. But yeah, it's. I mean, I am not a PC gamer. Like I'm never going to hook a mouse and keyboard up this thing. A, because my shoulder would hurt, and B, that's just not me. I mean, it is more fiddly than like a other console or a Switch, or like it's not as plug as play as any of those. You have to do a little bit of research. You kind of have to know what you're doing. You have to be willing to go, okay, I want to play this game, but it doesn't 100% work with the Steam Deck. What do I need to do? You need to have that kind of mindset. But if you're willing to do that and you were on the fence, just fucking buy one. It's good. They're good.
I do want one,
It's
Paul.
good. It's good, Drew. It's good. I am really impressed with how well it performs. Dude, and the emulation is just so good. Apparently this thing can also do some PS3 games. It can do Wii U. It can do some Switch as well. I guess it can do the original Xbox, some of the original Xbox. I guess the Xbox is also a hard system to emulate. The first one, the green one with that hideous controller. But for what I want it for, which was GameCube and PS2, especially PS2, it's perfect. Could not be happier.
Well, that's good to hear. I was nervous. I mean, I'm glad you're enjoying it for the emulation stuff, but I really want to hear you talk about some of your more PC game experience. So I'm curious how Fallout New Vegas will go. I'm curious how Wolfenstein will go. I think Wolfenstein will be just fine.
I think so, yeah.
Bethesda FPSs that are not RPGs are usually pretty well optimized.
Yeah, it's Steam verified, so that means it should have the highest level of compatibility. Yeah, I'm as soon as it installs.
That's a very good game, by the way.
It is a really good game. Yeah.
Did you beat both of them?
I have. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I guess there's more now too. So
they added some DLC.
Is that what it is? Some DLC.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Those are good games. They're good. They're fun. I guess also like both Doom and Doom Eternal run pretty well on this thing. So those are things they're on my wish list now. I have to pick.
You haven't played any of those?
I've played and beat the original Doom. I have not played. I played a little bit of Doom Eternal, but I've not really gotten into it. So that may be a game that I approach.
I liked the 2016 Doom more than Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal was still very good.
Yeah,
but I like the original.
Dude, the way that they made how they just tweak those mechanics ever so slightly to keep you moving forward all the time. Yeah. It's just done so well.
Plus the art direction and everything are just
the music's good. Yeah.
Well, I'm tickled. I mean, like I said, I want one. There are other expenses that I have at the forefront right now, but if I can get that stuff to calm down, then absolutely I will pull the trigger.
Okay, next topic.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about something that I spent money on.
Okay.
Ever since you talked about your fancy espresso machine, I have a personal achievement to buy an espresso machine.
Okay.
All right. Now, Paul, before I tell you what I bought,
am I going to be disappointed in you?
I don't know. I really hope not.
Okay.
I really hope not. From everything I've read, I made a good capital G TM choice.
Okay. Okay.
But
What did you get?
Paul,
Mm-hmm.
what makes a good espresso machine? Like, what are the qualities you look for?
I mean, the most important thing is the pressure, right? Can it apply pressure evenly? But generally 9 bars, sometimes a little higher or less through the puck, right? Like that's out of everything, the ability to create pressure, I think, is the number one most important thing about an espresso machine.
Okay. Now, my requirements
Mhm.
for an espresso machine at home are obviously I want it to be able to make espresso.
Okay. Yep.
Everything else is secondary to me.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. I don't put milk in my coffee
Mhm.
because I'm not a fancy duchess.
Okay.
I don't. I just want a GD Americano. Like that's it.
Okay.
If I buy
Yeah.
a machine that can make an Americano,
Mhm.
I'd be so
Okay.
happy.
All right. So
I'd
you
be
don't
so happy.
So you're not worried about like milk steaming or anything like that. You just want espresso and hot water.
I am not, and I
Okay,
am the
yeah.
predominant coffee drinker in this house. And by predominant, I mean only.
Okay.
Now, when people are over, I like to offer people coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my current coffee workflow is the little plunger boy. Yeah, the little AirPress.
Okay.
And that's great for 1 cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
When I have people over, I have my French press. That's good for like 2.5 cups of coffee.
Okay.
With the size that I have. I also miss being able to just brew a pot of coffee.
Okay.
So it can be a completely separate device. Like I'm not married to the idea of having a device that can do espresso and drip coffee. But having something that does both would be kind of a home run.
Okay. You got me nervous there, but that's okay. Yep.
Okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So here is what I'm good. I put a deposit down on.
Okay. TK, I'm opening it now. Ooh, it looks nice. Ooh, look at that little thing.
Okay. So what you are looking at here is the Terra Coffee TK02. This is the sophomore album from this company. They made a machine called the TK01 that was pretty favorably reviewed. Like I think if you go online and you search like best espresso makers, I don't think it's going to be at the top of the list, but I think it's a respected brand.
That's not a bad price either.
No.
All things considered, yeah.
And I want to talk about that price point in a minute.
Yeah.
So it makes espresso.
Uh-huh.
The main highlights of this machine, other than the aesthetic, I love the way it looks.
I do too. It's very clean, very modern. Yeah.
Everything is accessible from the front. Mm-hmm. So the water tank, the tray to remove your spent little espresso pucks, even the milk frother that you can hook up to it, because it does come with one.
Yep.
Hooks up on the front. The menu is touchscreen. You program it with an app, and you can have, generic drinks in there. You can have pre-programmed drinks if you want to tune it. It accepts whole beans. It also accepts grounds. So if you want to just throw some your normal little beans in the bean hopper, you can. Or if you have a bespoke coffee that you want to enjoy a little less frequently, you can grind it yourself and put it in the other tray. Now, this all sounds great, but I would like you to look at these specifications and tell me if you think it is worth it.
Okay, let's see. Where are the specifications? Let's scroll down. Ooh, it also comes in black.
It does. I got white.
Yeah. Okay. Any bean. All right. Dosage. Nope. Milk. Show me where. Okay. It's got a grinder. Where are the specs? Give me numbers.
I'm trying to find it. FAQs. I don't know. I saw specifications in here somewhere.
None of those links work for me, I think.
Yeah, they don't work for me either.
I wonder if there's an ad blocker problem going on here. Okay, let's see.
Oh, so here. check this out. I'll put a different link in the chat.
Okay.
If you kind of backdoor the website a little bit here, you can get there.
Okay. Everything's in sync. Okay, that link. Oh, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Questions. What does it doesn't give me any information about like what the grinder is.
I'm sure it's probably not like the big burr boy like you have.
It's a conical burr grinder. Then that's exactly what my machine has. You know, they're fine. They're fine. You can have a little bit of retention. You got to keep them clean, but they do a relatively good job. Let's see. Learn more. Is there more? I said learn more. You took me back to the same place. I was. Well, fuck you.
This handy comparison chart. Oh, there's a handy comparison chart. Okay, here.
Okay. All right.
Well, this really doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me the pressure or anything.
Okay, well, let's see what the internet say. Pressure. If I type that pressure. Okay, so here we go. It's a 48. Let's see, 9 more rows. According to Google, it is. Wait, no, that took me to this thing. God damn it! The internet is awful. So on this first impressions. Okay, let's see. Let's look at this. That's for the first one.
Right. It's hard because not a lot of people have this machine yet because it is in a pre-order. So while you're looking that up, right?
Okay.
So this is a pre-order.
So it says it can do 19 bars of pressure, which if it put 19 bars of pressure into your espresso puck, it would explode your espresso puck. So I'm guessing it's capable of 19 bars, but it's probably got a
dialed back a little bit.
Probably got a release valve. Like a lot of boilers will go higher, but they're designed to to vet the pressure of the rest. And I mean everything I'm looking at, it looks like it's gonna be I mean you probably can get a more functional espresso machine for that price, but I don't think you could get one that's that awesome looking.
Right. It looks really good, right?
It does.
It looks good. And I hate being a form over function guy because I mean, have you seen me?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like form over function guy, but I do want this to look nice on my counter.
Yeah.
And the fact that it can do drip coffee as well is a big plus for me.
Yeah, that is very,
because like if my mom comes to visit, like she doesn't want an espresso, she just wants coffee. Right. Yeah. So I pre-ordered this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great little machine. Well, great. Oh, it's big. It's long.
It is 17 and a half inches deep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like it must be the grind dial on the side. That's what I'm guessing.
No, that is for the milk frother attachment.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
There are a couple YouTube videos of this thing in action.
Okay.
And there appears to be like 1 or 2 coffee influencers that have one. I don't think your big coffee boy has one.
No. If he does, he hasn't had a video out yet, but he might at some point.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this. They say that my estimated ship is not till the fall.
Okay,
which is kind of a bummer.
Wow. They must. But
apparently due to unprecedented demand.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty.
That's a slick little machine.
I'm pretty juiced for it.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously when it gets here, I would love for you to come over and help me put it through its paces.
I would love to come over and have a nice cup of coffee with you, Drew. Absolutely.
Yes. And we can explore the machine together. So that's what I ordered.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, I was like very, very nervous to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it really did. I might actually have to look into some reviews into this just and see if I can find anything and come back next week.
I really only found one guy who did a review on YouTube.
Okay.
There's also like Terra Cafe has like a YouTube video of it in action too.
Okay.
And the little display is touchscreen, obvi. And it looks like it does a pretty good job.
Okay.
And you basically program what's on there with the app because everything has an app.
Of course. Yep. Yeah,
But I think this will look very nice in my kitchen.
That's pretty cool. Now, I mean, I think given everything, I like the look of a more traditional espresso machine.
Sure.
I like the look of seeing the portafilter there and the steam one. Like I like that. Like to me, that makes me happy. But dude, this is a really interesting machine. Like I'd be curious just to see, like, yeah, like what does it do for? Because yeah, we'll do drip coffee, okay, which is fine, Like I said, if you want to make a lot of coffee for people that aren't coffee snobs, drip coffee is a great way to go. Yeah, you can make a nice little latte. You can just steam some milk. You can do an Americano. I also enjoy Americano. Yeah, that is pretty slick. And I really like like, you know what I like the most, Drew? I like the black and white touchscreen and how sharp that looks.
Yes. Yeah, because
the black with the white text.
I'll be honest, like
looks like
some
it's
of the
OLED.
Yeah, some of the machines that you showed me, they have a display.
Oh, mine does too, and it looks awful.
Yeah.
It's functional. It's not pretty. Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped for it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty pumped for it.
really
So hopefully I
cool.
get it sooner than that, but I'm not holding my breath.
That's pretty slick. Ooh, it's even got a built-in scale. Ooh, nice. That's what it says. Built-in scale.
Where is the scale?
I don't know. It's probably
there it is. It's number 2. It's number 2 on this little chart. I guess it's like near the grinder.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at an exploded view here on the shop page. Yeah. So basically, it was a $250 like pre-order fee.
Okay.
So I'll have a balance when it's ready.
Yeah.
And this is a business expense because really I need it for my work.
Yeah.
So yeah, high res capacitive display, 5-inch capacitive display.
That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah, like everything, you can do everything from the front. You know, it's you don't have to pull it out to fill out the water, the water thing. Looks like pulling out the spent grounds looks like it's easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm juiced. Okay, good.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
doesn't sound like I made a terrible decision.
No, it's a very interesting looking machine. I'd be curious to drink some coffee that it makes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, last topic of the night in the time we have left here.
Okay.
I received an email.
Uh-oh.
From AEP Ohio.
Okay.
Dear valued customer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm reaching out. I don't know who the I is in this case. Mark Reiter, President and Chief Operating Officer. So he's a pretty big guy. Okay. Dear valued customer, I'm reaching out to share information on upcoming changes many of you will see on your electric bills soon.
Uh-oh.
A combination of higher generation supply prices and increased energy use, especially during the summer months, will lead to increases in electric bills for many customers beginning in June.
Mm-hmm.
So the email goes on to explain that apparently, due to inflation, the cost of generation of electricity is going up.
Mm-hmm.
I read into this,
and
it says that for a 1,000 kilowatt usage home, it looks like the average increase of a bill is going to be about $50.
Okay,
which seems pretty high.
Yeah,
like my electric bill with the massive GE turbofan engines that I have in my computer right now that I'm running.
Yep.
Plus, we run the air conditioner quite a bit. We run all of our appliances pretty steady, just for the two of us even. I mean, my electric bill is like anywhere from $240 to $280. I mean, an increase of that is probably going to hurt a little bit.
If only you knew somebody who worked for an energy company.
So I got this email tonight, and I'm like, I had a couple thoughts. I was like, should I just let it ride and kind of see what the change is? Or should I actually go to the Energy Choice website? Because Ohio, and again, I learned all this from working at the same place that you work, right?
Yeah.
That Ohio is a choice state, and you can decide where you buy your electric supply from or your gas supply from. Now, AEP is what they call a wires-only company, right? They are in charge of transmission. They are
Yes.
not in charge of generation. However, don't let them fool you. AEP does have
Yes.
a
Yes.
generation business.
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
they can be a supplier as well.
Mhm.
So I went to the energychoice.ohio.gov website,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure this was designed by a 10-year-old.
Oh my
Like,
god, I'm on it right now. It's
it's
so bad.
go on there, Paul, and try to tell me how I'm going to compare my current rate to any of this.
Oh, it's bad. Oh my god, this is so bad.
It's really bad.
It's so bad. Oh my goodness. Uh,
Apparently, number one, there are a lot of energy suppliers, and some of the rates
hmm.
are dubiously low. Like, dubiously low.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, IGS is definitely not the lowest, but they're far from the highest.
Yeah, that is true. That is what we try to be. We try to be sustainable. Wow, I didn't realize there's this many like energy
Yeah.
resellers
Yeah. I
in
didn't either.
that does Ohio. Wow, that's ridiculous. I do know there's a lot of consolidation in this industry
Yep.
because a lot of companies are going out of business.
Yep.
Uh yeah, that's awful. I mean, I can get you the friends and family
I
rate.
mean, maybe. Maybe, right? I don't understand some of the so
Okay, what's your zip code? I'll bleep this out. Hold on.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the current rate I'm paying is if this website is correct, um
Mm.
0.0674 kilowatt hours is what I'm being charged right now.
All right. So it looks like it's a guaranteed savings rate. I have to open up the goddamn contract. God damn, our website is awful.
Oh, I can actually do this on your website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just don't know what they say. Preferred variable rate. But number two,
Oh, I don't
energy
want a
trans.
variable rate.
That's what
I'm
the
not
friends.
I ain't
That's
no bitch.
the friends and family rate is like a guaranteed saving. So it's like whatever they're charging, and they subtract certain money, but it does not tell me what it is.
So they have a fixed term length.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's weird. The 36-month fixed rate is 9.19. Seems high.
Yeah. I mean, you can yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the 7.49 cents for 12 months is not horrible.
It's not really.
No. No.
Yeah, I might have to become a customer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
Oh shit. Anyway, I just
And you can sleep well at night knowing that your electricity is being generated by 100% renewable sources like
now
wind and
that
solar.
is so not for nothing. The one thing that I was curious about on this thing is when you're looking at the compare grid on the Ohio or energychoice.ohio.gov,
Mm-hmm.
there is a column that says renew content.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that's what that means, but when you look at the glossary of terms, it shows you like what percentage of the generation is from renewable sources. And I just is at 100%. I got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Yeah, we try that, and we also like for our natural gas now, we're also making sure that we are getting like carbon offset credits to offset all of our natural gas that we do as well. So
Wow.
yeah, that's our shtick now is we're a green energy company. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to turn us into a customer for IGS, but uh so interestingly, right? So just kind of like a PSA for people in Ohio. If you use AEP Ohio and you got that email, um
I wonder.
please by all means shop around, right? I mean, this is the first time like inflation has been slowly creeping, right? Like we felt it at the grocery store, we felt it other places. Didn't really expect to see it here.
Yeah, well, any chance they get to raise their rates, they're gonna. Now, see, where I live, I have an energy co-op, and they are exempt from the choice program, so I get what I get, and I don't throw a fit. Uh, and okay, my it's okay for a kilowatt, I'm paying like about 9 cents. So yeah,
Yeah, it's in the ballpark.
it's in the ballpark. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, but I do get my gas through my employer, so there you go.
I don't really know what I'm paying for natural gas right now.
I have the bill on auto pay. I never look at it.
I really don't either.
I know
My
it's.
natural gas is really not. It's really not that much.
I have a natural gas furnace, so
Same.
yeah, so it goes up in the winter, but and then like in the rest of the time, it's like just my water heater, and it's basically zero.
Dude, my water bill is crazy. My
Yeah.
water bill is crazy.
Yeah, we have very expensive water out here too. It's like, yeah, it's you. There's like a floor, like you get so many gallons for this rate, but like it doesn't matter if you use 1 gallon or one less than that cap, you pay the same amount, and it's big. So it's only if you go over that do they start charging you. Yeah, it's a racket. We're paying for all these goddamn water towers they want to build, which I get. Water pressure, it's very important.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I live in this weird place where technically I live in Delaware County, but I have the city of Dublin gets its water from the city of Columbus.
Okay.
So yeah, it's Columbus City Utility still comes out and does like all the hookups and everything. And it's interesting. My previous house, we had a gas water heater, we had a gas furnace. The only thing gas in this house we have right now is the furnace. The water heater is electric too. And honestly, like that's a big energy suck because we take really hot showers. I emerge from the shower looking like a lobster. Like the water temperature is high.
Okay. Yeah, my wife takes really hot showers.
My wife.
My wife. I also have a gas stove, which apparently has been poisoning my family for decades.
We have a gas stove now too. Yeah, well, no, listen, buddy, I love a gas stove. Love me a gas stove.
I do too, but apparently I've been killing my family for the last forever. So,
man, what a good full podcast we have here.
Oh, absolutely. We
talk about all sorts of
and
things.
Coffee. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
and maybe getting you more customers.
Yeah, maybe. Oh.
All right, well, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah. We're on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. We're on the Toot site, doing their best. I'm on there at Paul. Drew's out there at Pitferg. What else you doing, Pitferg? You stream any Twitch?
Yeah, so I have been on a pretty good streak of streaming this week. During my fun employment, I'll be streaming quite a bit. Probably usually at night, maybe during the day.
Okay.
A lot of Call of Duty. I've also started playing Hitman 3, which is just hilarious. Like, it's so funny. So if you're over there, I'm on Twitch at Pitferg, PITTFURG as well.
You sure are. Oh yeah, you see some Call of Duty shooting mans yesterday. Look at you.
Yeah. I actually had some listeners, or not listeners. I actually had some viewers in there that were helping me clip things that were hilarious. So
awesome. Oh, well, all right, everybody. Thanks for listening.